Wow, we're live.
This is episode 5, according to what I named it. I think it's 5. I'm pretty sure we just did 4 last week, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to say. This week, episode 5, unfortunately we weren't able to do live, so we're doing a little pre-recording because I'm going to be at a wedding this weekend. And
Woo!
I'm flying to New Jersey at 5 o'clock this morning. To reveal a little movie magic, this is being recorded Wednesday night. If something really astonishing happens between now and 10 a.m. tomorrow when we, set it loose, then that is our bad. Okay, so this week we're going to talk. Oh wait, I guess we can introduce ourselves. I'm Nate.
I'm Ned.
This is and this week we're going to talk about. First, we've started a forum thread on the Kodi forums, asking people for topics that they'd like us to talk about. So we'll kind of go into that. We'll talk about Ned's cool setup. We're going to talk a little bit of hardware, a little bit of sticker stuff, and and Ned, I finished this week's Agents of Shield or last
Oh,
week's Agents of Shield. Did you watch it?
yes.
Okay, so and I don't know if you watched it.
Oh, was it? I haven't really seen The Flash. I watched part of one, and it was like he was doing science, which I was confused about.
He does science in this one. I hate to say this because I'm such a big Marvel fan, but it might be my favorite superhero TV show right now. Like,
Oh,
and I wasn't doing that at all. I started watching it at the beginning of the season, and the first, I don't know, 5 episodes were fun. They were an enjoyable watch, but there was nothing about them that was special. Then it got, like, intense because you found out that a guy that we all thought was a good guy is actually a bad guy. So, this is from me to the world. You should watch Flash. It's fantastic. But I guess we'll get back to that. So I guess how do we want to start? Do you want to start with RetroPi?
I guess I'm stuck in a Pong game. I think I can't exit it's Pong um, to be
That is
demonstrated.
that's true. Go to. So doing a quick screen share, and now for those of you familiar with the forum, here it is in all its glory. Um, oh, present to everyone. Okay, good. Here it is in all its glory. We'll include a link for this, down below in the description or somewhere. I don't know. You can easily find it too. But oops, let me navigate to it. I'm using a Mac this week instead of Windows PC, so it gets a little confusing. All right, so here's the website. It's in. If you go to discussions and Kodi related discussions, the name of the thread is just looking for ideas, questions, whatever for our cord cutting show. And so each week we're going to take one or several ideas. We're not really, pretty new to this, so it could be whatever we decide. We're going to take a couple ideas as we go along. So this week we decided to go with Nicker or Nick R or whatever his name is. He has 12,000 posts. He joined about a year after I did, um, and he has 3 times as many posts as me. So he's clearly pretty versed in Kodi lore, I guess. Anyway, 2 of the things he suggested about are 2 little add-ons, XBMC Check Previous episode and XBMC Unpause Jumpback, which, well, Check Previous episode is pretty simple and not that hard to understand. Unpause Jumpback's a pretty big mouthful, but it's a super useful app, so I figured why not show that off just because it is I mean, those are 2 really useful add-ons that I bet a lot of people aren't using. So we'll go ahead and share Kodi. Here we are. Ned, do you see Kodi up there?
I do.
Okay. So here's how you install those 2 add-ons. I was actually a little confused about this because I thought you had to go to Programs, but that's not the case. What you do is you open add-ons. Let's see. Install repo and services. And then they're both at the end of the list. So here's Check Previous Episode, and here's Unpause Jumpback. So we'll install those. And they're pretty small, pretty easy to install. It takes almost no time. So the first thing you're going to want to do with each of them, we can go individually, and I guess maybe with, oh, shoot. Oh, see, here's the problem. When you run a Mac, it crashes every once in a while.
Hey.
Mac 2, it's not, I'm in the wrong place. So add-ons, and I've already got it installed now. So my add-ons. Here they are, already installed. I'm, by the way, running Isengard, which is why what we see right now is so different than how it was back in the good old days before Isengard. So here we are, my add-ons, all that stuff. So first step, we do check previous episode. You can configure this, but there's frankly not much to configure. All it does is, when it's installed and set up, you go to your TV shows, and here's Adventure Time. And if you'll notice, I haven't watched episode Diary, or Walnuts and Rain. So if I select Walnuts and Rain, a new thing will pop up. Oh wait.
Oh, because you're disconnected.
Yeah, because I'm not. This was set up for my server at home. Well, I'll just tell you what should happen. Unless, no, do you want to show it? Do you have it on your PC?
I'm checking right now if it'll work.
Okay. That I'll show off the other one, because this one's much more dependent on configuration. So it's Unpause Jumpback, and you configure it. And here's basically how it works. If you paused a TV show for any period of time, at least I have the problem where I get a little confused about what's going on when I get back to it. You know, if I went and got a snack or whatever. So what you can do is you can select how long you want it to jump back. So it'll jump back 10 seconds or 15 or whatever. And if you pause it for just a second, it won't do this. But if you pause it for kind of a length of time, that's when it'll go into effect. So the minimum time you can pause it for is 10 seconds there. So the idea here is not for a quick pause, you do it, but rather if you you're away for a while, let's say, here we're already at a minute and a half. If you've been away for 5 minutes, you need a couple seconds just to get back into the frame of mind of the TV show. So that's the idea of the add-on. It's pretty cool in action, but I can't show it off at the moment because I don't have any of my episodes since I'm not on a normal server house. Anyway, those are the two kind of cool add-ons that we wanted to show off this week. They're really simple add-ons. Really great job.
Okay, I think I got it. Okay. All right, screen share. All right, I think that's working.
Okay.
Do you see my
American Dad?
Right. American Dad. Let me mark something as watched on here because I think this has been freshly scanned. I'm going to jump ahead here. Get a list view. I always think we need to change our defaults here. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead, watch episode 7, and I only watched up to episode 4. And if I did this right, oh, look at that, a warning. You have not watched the previous episode. It just saved you from spoiling yourself, and you can say, yes, I really want to watch this, or no, and then you can just jump right into browsing it in case you got into this from like your recently added here from the main screen.
Yeah.
You jump right into the list, so you don't have to go and hunt down that previous episode. It'll take you right to it.
Oh, that is handy. And that's actually, I'm guessing that's really the reason you do it. You wouldn't really use this add-on while browsing your TV shows. You'd use it while browsing your most recently added episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to, oops, I misspelled that. I don't think I have to configure.
Jamop?
Jamop? I think it's just.
Yeah. It needs a
wow, this has got a lot more options from the last time I looked.
It's pretty cool now, and like you can exclude live TV and all that stuff. But I think, I guess
one of the cool things you can do with it is speaking of live TV, some commercial DVRs, when you fast forward and then resume, it'll kind of anticipate your reaction time and actually back it up a little bit. So like if you're fast forwarding through a commercial break, so you can use an unpause jump back in that sense. Well,
and that's actually a setting in there. If you fast forward, you can have the option of being it back 10 seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So I've got this here. I'm paused it, and I forget what it said there. How long I got to pause this for?
Well, it's a minimum of 10 seconds, but I think you have it set up so it doesn't unpause it.
Oh. I won't be. Let me get back into there. Oh, where'd I go? Jump. Configure.
Yeah, jump second 0.
So let's say, I don't know, about 6, 7. Oh. So we're gonna tell it to, and I don't know if I have to. I'll stop that episode and resume thing, or we'll just take one of these here.
All right, that sounds good.
Parks and Rec. Oh, I have a previous episode. Yes, I'm sure.
Oh dear.
And we'll fast forward a little bit. I keep forgetting that we have this additive seeking coming up, and I press the button more than I need to.
Were you expecting the 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I picked up additive seeking like immediately. I love it. That's so good.
It just crashed.
It appears to. So I think what we've learned here today is that we should stop trying to show off Kodi on Macs. At least if we're using Isengard. I don't know what the deal is. I think honestly, I think my version is even more janky than it should be. I think now I'm running Montelese's version that does the
media import,
which makes it even less. It's pretty. That version was right before beta 1, and so it's pretty. It's not great in terms of stability.
Back on there?
Yeah, it is up and running.
Okay, so I've got it paused and bring the telephone or whatever, and I probably missed the important thing that they just said. So I go to unpause it about now. And I think it went back. I don't know. I didn't see.
It's hard to tell. It definitely looks like he was looking toward. Oh, there he's looking at the camera. Yep, it worked. That was really cool.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And yeah, it's highly configurable. It's one of those things where it comes up as like a feature request, and people wonder, like, oh, why don't they add this as a feature? And it's that's one of the reasons why add-ons get so much attention, is because when it's an add-on, you don't have to wait for a new version of Kodi to come out. Someone just makes an add-on for this, and there you go.
Yep. That's actually, we've been talking about this internally. Since we've been add-onifying so much stuff lately, it started to become a real problem for our server system.
Was it like 70 million?
It might be 170 million now. I don't. It's some enormous number. Every single day we get like this huge number of pings on the mirror. The downloads is fine. We're not really having any problems there, because once you're connected to your local mirror, then we're not talking to you anymore. You're probably talking to university hosting our stuff somewhere. But the hit to the mirror is really, it's crazy how many we're getting each day. We're up to like 170 million or 70 million. I forget which one. So I'm going to do you there. And it's getting to the point now where we've add-onified so much stuff that we're starting to look at ways in which we can more efficiently ping the mirror, which is, I guess it's a good problem to have. It means we have more users and more cool stuff going on in the code base, but at the same time, Kib, who's our sysadmin server, is pulling his hair out.
What we use Mirror Brain, and he told me requests the server was getting, because whenever you do anything, even a single user can make several different one for each icon that loads and all that stuff. And he told him how many requests we were getting, and he didn't believe him.
Yeah.
The who made our mirror software didn't work with that many users.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So every once in a while it comes up in the regular forums, and you know, various sysadmin type people or people who are just really good at rebooting routers offer suggestions to Kib on how to improve efficiency, and he's like, I did that like 6 months ago. I'm telling you, this is as far as it goes. Comes up. All right, so bumping back down to our official list. You ready for RetroPi?
Yeah, I got a boot right now. I should have mounted something on my camera here, but I'm gonna freehand it. It's actually just booting up right here. I've got a Raspberry Pi 2, and there's a couple different projects, kind of like how there's OpenELEC, OSMC, XBN, and you know they all help you run Kodi. Well, just like how there's a couple different options. There's the same thing happening with retro emulation on the Raspberry Pi. There's Retroplayer, or not Retroplayer. Retroplayer is what we're adding to Kodi. Yeah. There's RetroPi. There's RecalBox. There's a couple other ones. Right now I'm running RecalBox. I don't really know what the major I know right now is RecalBox PS3 controller here, so that's why I chose it.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Right now, at least. But
so are they're basically the same? They're all using the same code base. They just have different.
Yeah, like this launcher here is called, like, I think Emulation Station is a little launcher, and they all pretty much use that. The approaches with the Kodi distributions, and I'm sure there's various pros and cons to each one and such, but they all there's one way or another to put Kodi on there. One of the cool things about RecalBox is it actually comes with Kodi. If you go in here, if we pop up the menu, it's actually one of the options on here.
So that launches straight into Kodi? Oh, that's really cool.
The only bad thing is it doesn't have like an icon like it does like when you go into all the various different emulators.
Oh yeah.
RetroPi, there's instructions on how to set it up, so it's like its own little thing on the main screen there. The other thing is, and this is not anyone's particular fault or anything, this is kind of universal, but right now joystick, there's no joystick port with the Raspberry Pi versions, I guess. So, and there's different things that are being looked into that to kind of see what we can do. So if you're using your controller and you launch Kodi, you might have to switch to a remote or something, but hopefully that's a temporary problem.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. You know,
it's the whatever we use on Linux to interface with joysticks just doesn't exist on these builds or something like that, something to that extent.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not like a simple XML fix that we're looking at.
No, not that I know of, but it's not an impossible fix either. I just don't think anyone's really looked into it. And I've just barely started screwing around with this myself, so for all I know, it might even be fixed by now.
Well, hopefully, one of the things that I'm really excited about Retroplayer, and for those who haven't been paying attention, Retroplayer is our own version where you can launch games directly from within Kodi. But one of the things I'm really looking forward to about that project is the input work that Garrett's been working on.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, that alone, I mean, even if we never got video games in it at all, that would be great stuff. Just because it would make it so much easier to set up new pieces of hardware with the.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's nice.
There we go. And this, what makes this so usable now is the Raspberry Pi 2. The Raspberry Pi 1, you could set all this up before just fine, but the problem is that you wanted to get as much power as you could out of the Raspberry Pi. So you usually wanted to boot what you wanted to do. So having a more general use version that did both Kodi and both emulators and stuff, usually wasn't optimized. But the Raspberry Pi 2's speed boost makes that less of an issue. So now you don't have to reboot. You don't have to, or change SD cards. You can just get right into here. And I remember this game was, I have such frustrating memories of Sonic. Just
that was no
as a
part of
kid.
my childhood. I was a Nintendo kid, so my
Yeah,
frustrating
everyone
memories.
was.
My frustrating memories are completely unrelated to Sonic.
It took me. It wasn't until I was an adult, and now I'm just rebooting it. Apparently, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Anyways, I'll get that. Oh, I'm getting a small. I should show this. There's a little color box in the top right here. People sometimes ask, this will happen on just about anything that you have a Raspberry Pi for, including Kodi, and they go, what is that? This is a low voltage warning. This means the power supply for the Raspberry Pi is not enough, and you should use something a little more voltage. And that will prevent various issues and performance and oddities. So if it's there, that's a warning. That's it's not.
That's a sign that you're using the wrong thing to power that thing.
Yeah, including a whole lot of it set up. It's fairly straightforward, though. It's exactly what you think. It's emulators with a nice library kind of a thing, and all the ones, like I said, there's multiples of them out there, and they all seem to work pretty good with Kodi. If you want to also have your media center too, and it's they're really easy to set up. I was surprised. Like it was a matter of basically 3 steps. It told you, okay, get this controller, get a Raspberry Pi SD card. Okay, now copy this card. Okay, now plug it in, and it was pretty much set up. I mean, you still have to provide your own ROMs, but it's even if you're reluctant to kind of do that kind of stuff, give it a try. It's pretty cool.
But what does it go up to N64 or PlayStation 2, or is it more of a 16-bit kind of thing?
I was reading a little bit about that the other day, and I think they've got some N64 stuff, which wasn't working on the Pi 1 at all. N64 Raspberry Pi 2. And yeah, they've got some definitely is usable. I think there's still let's see, what does he say here? Oh no, it seems like it works pretty much. Yeah, I don't think I have any N64 games or ROMs on hand. Actually, no, I probably do somewhere.
What?
Yeah, the Pi 2. I mean, it's not blazingly fast, but it is such a nice upgrade over the Pi 1.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah,
I can't decide if it's probably not the ultimate one for me, just because. And here's my issue. I lived a very weird gaming console childhood over the N64 altogether. I think the PS2, the original Xbox, and the original Xbox I got into because of XBMC, but it was SSX Tricky. I wouldn't call myself an expert because there are some people out there that are absurd, but man, I love SSX Tricky. So anything that can emulate a PS2, I think, is the thing.
SSX.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
one of the entire SSX snowboarding series. 100% fantastic. Quite a ways down from PS2. But that's okay. I can wait a little longer. 4 years, and we might get the Raspberry Pi 3, which will be like the same level of strength as the current NVIDIA Shield, probably.
Yeah. Which is, supposedly coming out any day now. Their set-top box.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We have people. I don't think we have any embargoes going on, but we have some people that are definitely looking into that and working on making it pretty awesome. So that's
they've given us some hardware for the what do you call it? Did it have a special name, or is it just the Shield? But this was before that.
Yeah, It was just a regular Shield.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's actually, it's the same thing. It's Koying's got one. Who's our, for those who don't know, Koying's the Android guy we have. He's fantastic. And so he's got one of the consoles, and he's kind of looking into making it tip top for us. Last I checked, they were working on getting 4K working on it, which is,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I don't need 4K, but you're just going to give it out. Sure.
All right. So what's next on the list? I think am I up now? I think I am. So next on the list, I wanted to talk about. So I've mentioned the Flirt case before, and this is more a poll than anything. And by the way, for those of you watching, go ahead and like and subscribe right now. I'm told we're supposed to say that, so you should do it.
Oh, yeah.
Like
you always have a pop-up show up during the video that points to the button. We'll change it out, and then this won't mean anything. It'll be pointing to the wrong button.
So so click here, click on this lamp to like and subscribe. Okay, so anyway, going back to my point. So one of the things we've been wondering about is if we should do some kind of limited run of something cool. You know, nothing that's actual hardware. Not like a machine ourselves, but like a lot of people mention they want to have stuff that actually says Kodi on it, like a branded thing. And so we wanted your opinion on whether you'd prefer something like a Raspberry Pi case, kind of like this one, actually said, I don't know, like maybe like where it says Flirt right here, said Kodi instead, or you know, somewhere on here or something like that. Or if instead you'd prefer some sort of a sticker system, which you can just get a sticker and then put it on anything.
Yeah, like a sticker on this clear case. And this actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think these stickers would look that cool, and they looked pretty cool. But I kind of want both. I want to be greedy because you know, raised or whatever. Like, what was it into the case?
Do. And this is probably not possible or absurdly expensive for what it does. I think it'd be cool to have a case that plugs into the, what is that strip along the side? Like the little pins.
Oh, the GPIO.
Power. And lights up with a Kodi logo on here.
Well, not only that, but we could make it, we could go so far with it. We can feedback, you know, turn red if you're paused, or I don't know, stuff like that. We could go all out with it.
Oh, so you had like that work?
I couldn't find a remote and you just needed to pause real quick?
That would be pretty cool. That would probably be more expensive than the $15 I was envisioning here.
I don't know. It's a button between a couple of the pins.
Yeah.
So it might be possible. I don't know. I think it would probably depend on the bulk of manufacturing, how many units we could get made.
Yeah. That would be, so, okay, so new poll. So sticker, if you want a sticker, click here. Not really. I'm not going to make a button for this. But if you want a sticker, say that. If you want just something that's just like a Kodi case, like that doesn't do anything, it's kind of a nice looking case, say that. Or if you want something that like is ridiculous and lights up green when it's playing and red when it's not playing and blue if it's paused, and kind of a hot pink if you're watching adult content, then feel free to say so in the comments. That would be cool. I didn't even think of that, but that would be, I would probably want that myself.
Some car rim spinners.
Yes. God, how much do you think that would cost? It would probably be ridiculous.
I don't know. A button, like a single button case, like a power button case. And I think those were fairly reasonable. I think there were 20, 30.
They light up awesomely.
I saw did. Like one of the power, like it just gave you a, Well, have you know what the slice is, right?
Is that like the stackable one?
No, it's a Raspberry Pi. It's based on the compute module, which is a Raspberry Pi in the form of a chip, and it's a lot of the guys from the Raspberry Pi Foundation on their own decided to make it a media box and in the web here. Yeah, it's for a hard drive, and it's got kind of like you described the LEDs around it. 5 ninjas. That's who they are. The 5 ninjas. Let me screen share here. Okay. And this guy, he's actually got LEDs all around the box.
So do the LEDs make sure
they can do stuff like you can program it? Like, let me see if I can find the. They probably have a picture on their Kickstarter page. They have a gut shot here.
I think we lost. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, this is the timeline here. I want their presentation campaign. And the only bad thing about this guy is he's based on the Pi 1. But the same kind of concept.
There's a rainbow thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're changing colors there. Yeah, that would be cool.
Got a picture of the board. Where'd it go? There we go. Here we are.
So that's like a daughter board kind of thing. Oh, and there's a compute module.
Yeah.
Well,
and what's also cool is if they ever make a Raspberry Pi 2 compute module, you could pop it out and stick that one in and upgrade it.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we probably want to do something like that, but you know, similar idea could still hook up to an existing Pi. You know, have something with a trim of LEDs. You know, you have a little Night Rider thing go on or something.
Right. Ideally cheaper, though. I feel like I remember this thing being kind of expensive.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing. It was like if you were a backer, £109,
which is like $150, maybe. I don't remember the conversion.
No, I don't know either.
Well, that would be
yeah.
And that's the whole point of this, is to get distracted with different things we're interested in. So in the comments below, right down here, right below my chin, tell us which one of those three you think would be coolest. And admittedly, I'm guessing most people would go on price, because a sticker is smaller, whereas crazy thingamajigger is going to be, I don't know how much it would be.
By the time we're done, it's going to have like rockets on it. It's going to be to take out a phone to get.
Right. So you know, keep that in mind while you're voting, I guess. And I mean, do all this voting, and then with the guarantee that we probably won't ever do it, but yeah. We'll see it and are interested in the idea. Okay, so next topic. I don't know if we have any more topics. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. Was there anything else from that suggestion thread that was? There
were a lot of suggestions, and there were some pretty good ones. The problem was a lot of them were kind of more in-depth stuff, like you know, cover which of your add-ons your favorite, or discuss some of the third-party helping scrapers like Tiny Media Manager.
Yeah.
The thing is, I just let Kodi do the work. You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to talk about a lot of that stuff people talked about. I'll see. Then we had this big argument about whether I should be looking at the camera.
And I was setting up, because I've got a little USB camera. My screen is down here because I kept realizing that I'm looking down here. So I'll rig up some kind of like screen up here with your face on it eventually, and then I'll be like looking over there. My eyes will be at the right.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a good plan. All right, here's some stuff that I don't think we have time to talk about this week, just because we'd have to set it up and there'd be a lot of dead air. Let me go ahead and share that page. So a couple things that people want us to talk about are text-to-speech add-on, which is made by Rook, which is a really, really cool add-on. But I don't have it set up. Do you have it set up anywhere?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's in the repository now, though, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it probably works on each platform now. Just so people understand, so people know what it is. What the idea is Kodi is to some extent a naturally visual platform. Like that's kind of a big part of the idea of what it is. But I mean, there's no reason that it can't be. It can't work for people with visual impairments. So our one of our team members, Rick Phillips, figured out how to hook into the type-to-text language of the underlying OSs for a bunch of the different OSs out there. And I'm pretty sure it definitely works on Android, Linux, and Windows. I'm not sure about Mac, just because I don't know if he has